How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today we're looking at why institutions are still swallowing up Bitcoin. We have some interesting charts that show really how well Bitcoin performs versus other assets, and a short squeeze. A short squeeze is coming very soon, in my opinion. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this as soon as I make them. Also, there's that link underneath the video to Margex where you can trade cryptocurrencies using leverage. You can get this set up in just a few seconds, and you can trade to try to get even better gains than you would just by buying spot. You can see a couple of the positions we have open right now: 328%, 47%, 454%. Everything is in the green right now as Bitcoin's over 60,000. Now, look at this. Chart of the day. US Bitcoin ETF spot over 100% of the new supply. Number of Bitcoin mined, 450. Number of Bitcoin bought by ETF, 670. Monday through Wednesday, they bought about 3 times or 2.5 times what the ETFs, what the Bitcoin miners mined. And then over the last 7 months or so, since the ETF started, they've almost bought double as much Bitcoin as the Bitcoin that's been mined. So they've been swallowing up Bitcoin off the market, in addition to all the new mining. And this has caused us to go from 38,000 to 60,000, right? Now, there are other entities buying as well, but you can see the ETFs have just been so strong. Even yesterday, on a subpar day, $40 million worth of Bitcoin bought. Meanwhile, nothing is stopping the train, this train. The U.S. debt is up $38 billion just yesterday. Just yesterday. Think about that. $38 billion in a day. Annualize that out. That's an insane number. $38 billion, if that happened every single day, it would only take, 26 days for us to hit $1 trillion in debt? Like $1 trillion every month? That is crazy. But right now we're on track when you average it out for $1 trillion every 90 days. We're at 35.2 trillion right now. But keep in mind, it's not just the US, it's every nation out there. So that's why Michael Saylor says everything denominated by 21 million. There's going to be every single asset out there is going to be viewed against Bitcoin. I'll show you why that is here in a second. But even just all the future money that's coming to us, some of it, all of it's going to be looking for a home, right? And whether that's treasuries, the stock market, real estate, Bitcoin, other assets, collectibles, something that's stuck at 21 million that can't be inflated might look quite attractive. Take a look at this too. People always, I feel like I hear this all the time, especially with houses. Like people say, oh, wow, you bought this house for $50,000 40 years ago. How crazy is that? But when you look at it over time, maybe that's increased 4%. And obviously it depends on the area. But people don't get that just because something's gone up a lot in value doesn't necessarily mean there was a great return. Look at this. The S&P 500 typically performs very well. We've been in a bull market with the exception of just a slight period of time in 2020 and 2022. That was actually, both of those times were really rough, but we're at all-time highs again. The last 12 years have been an insane run. The S&P 500's more than 3x, I believe, in that time, which is really, really good. Even historically, that's really good. But yet, when you denominate it in Bitcoin, every 4 years, it's down. And we usually look at this versus homes, right? Bitcoin versus homes. There are a lot of charts about that. But even the S&P 500, 2012 to 2016, it devalued versus Bitcoin a huge amount. 2016 through 2020, it devalued. 2020 to now, it's devalued even more. Now, there's certain time periods where it stays the same or even goes up against Bitcoin. But when you look at it, this is a log scale too. It's just crazy how much Bitcoin has done, how well Bitcoin's performed. And of course, I believe in diversification, right? Bitcoin, in my opinion, is riskier than the S&P 500 as an investment. There's more concentration risk. I'd say there's more concentrated number of holders, right? But it performs so well, and it's still so young. So just crazy to take a look at this when it's denominated in Bitcoin. Now we have to get to some short squeeze info, some spot Ethereum ETF info, and some other stuff too. But first, a word from today's show sponsor. Now we talk about Bitcoin a lot on the channel, but I've also mentioned like some of the best performing cryptos this year have been meme coins. And that's why I'm pretty excited to see this on the 21st, which is yesterday. They had, or Bitcoin Dogs Club had the first ICO on Bitcoin. ODOG claim and listings are launching on the 21st, 11 a.m. UTC on Gate.io, Mexi official, and Unisat wallet. Now this had a huge raise, $13.6 million raised publicly in 4 weeks. And you can buy a piece of Bitcoin history. They are a partner of the channel. I'll leave links to them underneath the video, but obviously meme coins are doing well this cycle. Some people are even saying maybe this is the Pepe of the BTC chain. So it'll be interesting to watch. Mexi talked about them breaking new ground in the Bitcoin ecosystem, coming to Mexi Kickstarter. And they also recently did an AMA with Gate.io. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out underneath the video as well. I'm paying attention to it. I think it's an interesting one, especially with meme coins doing so well and with Bitcoin dominance going up. It maybe is the perfect little mix of magic for this crypto. Of course, though, when you do have these newer cryptocurrencies that are launching, they are quite volatile. So make sure that you know what you're doing and make sure that you're willing to take this risk. As you can see, the starting market cap is 2.6 million, even though they raised 13.6 million. And then they give the ROI and the price that it could go to depending on what the market cap goes to. So check this out underneath the video. Big thanks to Bitcoin Dogs Club as well for sponsoring this part of the video. And let's get back to the content. Bitcoin is ripe for a short squeeze as bulls pressure $62,000 price wall. I've kind of covered the fact that we could see some big liquidations, and that I think it's very possible, especially because we've had open interest jump, but we've had negative funding rates. Okay, so that means that people that are going short are actually paying the people going long. And that just basically means that the market is very, very short at the moment, right? There are people betting the market's going down, not up, which typically means it does go up and it wrecks all those shorts. Now, yesterday we had a bit of a jump in price. We went from about 58,000 up to 61.8. Now we're down a little bit, but we do have Jackson Hole tomorrow. We got some economic data today, but it was pretty much a nothing burger. So we'll have to wait for tomorrow with Jackson Hole, Jerome Powell speaking, giving his view on the economy. I'm sure that there's going to be some volatility around that. Spot Ethereum ETFs record longest outflow streak amid drying investments. Spot Ethereum ETFs, the U.S. face significant outflows, unlike Bitcoin ETFs, which continue to attract investments. Look at this. Look at these huge outflows from ETH. I mean, that is the major reason we're seeing negative days. I mean, also look at BlackRock. They've actually had a good number of inflows. Day one, 266 million. Next day, 17 million. Then 70. Then 87. Then 58. Then 118. Even now, they have a couple days where there's 0 or 800,000, but then they have some strong days. Like 2 days ago, they had 26.8 million. August 13, they had 49 million. But at the same time, we're just getting relentless selling from ETH. $500 million, $250 million, or $1/3 billion, $1/3 billion, $1/3 billion, $1/5 billion, 120 million, 130 million. Even now, 30 million, 40 million, 25 million. So yeah, we've had 5 days in a row of negative inflows, of outflows. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough if you're an ETH investor. I mean, ETH has done, I think, fine just overall. It's still moved up a little bit over the last couple days, but since the Ethereum ETFs were launched, it's gone down pretty significantly. If you remember, right, this is the 23rd of July. Since the 23rd, we were at 3,500 and rallying up before it. So 3,500 all the way down to 2,100. Now we're just kind of puttering around down here. So yeah, it's definitely been rough for Ethereum investors. Just 2x off the high when Bitcoin's about, or about 2.5x off the bottom versus Bitcoin, which is about 4x off the bottom. So it'll be interesting to see. MicroStrategy will see a $5.38 billion EPS boost when it adopts the new accounting FASB rules. This, I believe, will happen in the last quarter of the year. But this is going to be really fascinating to watch. The FASB addresses matter back in 2023, and it takes some time for companies to get switched over. As of August 10, 2024, MicroStrategy held 226,500 Bitcoin worth 13.77 billion that they got an average price of about 37,000. With Bitcoin currently trading at 60,500, MicroStrategy is sitting on unrealized profits of 5.39 billion. And as time goes on, each quarter, if Bitcoin's price goes up, they're going to be able to show this as earnings. Take a look at this MSTR. Their market cap is 27.1 billion. So when they're able to show 5.4 billion, they're going to have like an EPS. It's just going to be nuts, right? Because one quarter, they're going to show earnings of about 1/5 of their market cap. So yeah, it's going to be a fun time when they account for that. And like there are going to be people talking about it all over the place. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Again, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link to Margex underneath the video. You can trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Caspa, Litecoin, ADA, Solana, all different kinds of cryptos, even some of the meme coins like Floki, and I think even Shiba might be on here too. Sui's on here. So many different cryptos. If you want to check them out, there's that link underneath the video. Big thanks to Bitcoin Dogs as well. And we'll see you all in the next video.